안녕하세요, 여러분. 저는 소라입니다.
And I'm Ed, and you're listening to the
Vamos a Jeju podcast. 안녕하세요. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Vamos a Jeju podcast. And finally, I am back home. I'm so happy. And today, of course, as always, we have my buddy Ed is here. Hi, Ed.
Hey Sora. So I think the person that's most happy to have you home is Jaden. Before recording, I saw him walk past and he definitely was happy to have his wife back. And I totally get that. There was heavy snow in Jeju, and the Jeju airport, multiple flights were delayed. Were you affected by the delays at all?
I was okay, but a lot of flights were like delayed, suspended, canceled, and some people could not make it back home and had some problems.
I'm very excited because Sora told me that some of these people who didn't make it back on time were actually caught for having an affair. Tell us more about this, Sora.
Some people they were cheating on their partner and then having like happy trip to Jeju with their, girlfriend, boyfriend, and of course didn't tell their actual family. For example, he's supposed to go back, but he could not make it. And there's no excuse because he told his wife that he's having a business trip for a day and then couldn't go back because he was in Jeju with someone else.
This is such salacious, scandalous stuff. It's like a K-drama, but in real life. Weather definitely affects the entire tone of your visit to Jeju as well. And that's exactly what we're going to focus on in today's episode. What each season is like and why every season is a good time to visit Jeju depending on what you're looking for. And Sora, what can you tell our listeners about a trip to Jeju in the winter? What to look out for and what to prepare for?
So in Korea, like in Jeju, winter is usually from December, January, and February. And sometimes it snows a lot, especially like near the mountain. So sometimes we can't get into the park. But like near the coast area, it's okay. Even though we have heavy snow, it's gonna melt down very soon. So it's easy to travel. Reason I like winter in Jeju is because there's less crowd and it's much cheaper. So if you're a budget traveler, winter could be a good choice because it's cheaper, but still it's beautiful with the snow. In December, it can be still warm. Like in Jeju City and Seogwipo City can be still warm. Yesterday, I went out with my friends and I didn't wear my jacket. I just wear my hoodie. And also in March, I think March is still a bit of winter. Spring actually started from at the end of March. So like early March can be also very cold and windy.
I guess with winter, the days are also shorter, right?
Usually sunset is around 5:30 to 6. And then you can go have a nice dinner.
So it's not so far north that the sun goes down too early. In the winter in the Scandinavian countries, the sun comes out at like 9 o'clock in the morning and goes down at 3 o'clock. And then you're like, oh
no.
the day's over. So it's still a fairly decently long day. And sometimes the weather can be great and you're getting Jeju at a bargain without the crowds and get really great views of the mountain. If you do climb Hallasan in the winter, the amount of preparation that you need and the amount of equipment and gear that is required is drastically different than if you climb in any of the other seasons where, sure, it's windy, it's cold, but it is not going to be as dangerous or treacherous without special equipment. Have you climbed in the winter at all?
Yeah, I did. I think like 2 years ago, I went there like right after the snowy day. So it was beautiful, beautiful. And of course, for that, you need the hiking pole.
Crampons? Oh, yes.
And crampons, of course. Crampons, hiking poles. I think that's the essentials. And of course, you have to like lots of layer.
And so we've got articles about climbing Hallasan on vamosajeju.com/climb. But Yes, if you do plan to climb Hallasan in the winter, aside from all the other things that you need to do, like register with the website and all that, you really need winter hiking equipment, including crampons and your hiking stick.
The other highlights of winter in Jeju, of course, we got like snowy Hallasan, but we also have the tangerine farms, right? Because only in winter we can do like tangerine picking and like eating tangerine until you get sick of it. So that's other reason that I love winter in Jeju.
That's right. I totally forgot about tangerines. So if you're new to our podcast, you can go back to episode 5 of this show where we talk specifically about tangerine picking. Did I tell you, Sora, that I'm going back with my family in the winter this year with my
Yeah,
whole
for
family? Yeah.
Christmas.
Yeah, for Christmas. I was at first very resistant to the idea of going to Jeju in the winter, which is like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
hell no, I'm not going to go to Jeju in the winter. That's dumb. But now that I've committed to it for Christmas, I'm actually very psyched. Yeah, of course. Like maybe we'll climb Hallasan and we'll do
Ooh.
tangerines and it's going to be great.
Yeah.
So we'll have to figure it out.
The weather is gonna be great, like snowy and clear.
Is there anything else about winter that we should discuss that I've not mentioned?
It's not Jeju special, but we can also do a sauna, especially in the winter. In Jeju, we have one outdoor 찜질방.
Okay.
So they're gonna make a fire to make the room hotter. It's very, very authentic. When you are here, I'll take your family to those places so you can experience a new 찜질방 here.
Wait, is this the one that we have to be naked in front of everybody? Because I don't think I can do that in front of my kids. So that is winter, and then moving on to the next season, which is going to be spring.
I think most of people like spring because it's warm and we got lots of different flowers, especially like the canola flower, like the yellow flower, and of course, cherry blossom everywhere. And it's a good season for hiking as well. And I think that in spring, we have quite a lot of visitors, but it's better than summer.
If you are planning a trip to Korea in the spring and you're trying to decide how many days to spend in Seoul or the mainland in general versus how many days to spend in Jeju, I would point out that the air quality in Jeju is way better in the spring compared to Seoul.
So especially for spring, we have like 황사, meaning like the yellow dust comes from the desert from China and Mongolia. And that one, like in Jeju, we have a lot less than Seoul. Another dust we have in Korea a lot is like fine dust, which is like pollution. In Jeju, we don't really have this, but in Seoul, it's quite a problem. If you're gonna stay in Seoul for a long time, maybe you should bring a mask, or you can just buy it in Korea.
So spring runs through from the middle of March, I guess, to what, middle of May?
At the end of May, I guess. Yeah, because the canola flower actually started from at the end of February or March until like May. And then the cherry blossom start from at the end of March until, like mid-April, if it's not raining. During the cherry blossom season, lots of people come to Jeju. So if you're planning a trip to Jeju or Korea, then it's better to book your accommodation or rent a car or flight ticket like a few months before then. And also the first week of May, because it's also Golden Week of Korea, because we have many holiday for like Children's Day, Parents' Day, and like Labor Day, like many days.
So then the next season is going to be summer, autumn. And I often see on Instagram that Seoul, if you're ever going to see underground parking lots get flooded, that will be in summer with the huge torrential rains that hit the mainland, especially Seoul. So what is it like on Jeju in the summer?
I think in Jeju, we don't really have flood because, as you know, the volcanic rock cannot hold the water, so it goes through it. So no flood, but we have typhoon. So during the typhoon season, of course, you can't go to swim. You can't take the boat. It's better to stay inside if there's a typhoon. But if there's no
Okay.
typhoon, it's always sunny, very humid, hot. It's perfect weather for swimming in the beach.
Just east of Jeju City, there's a beach called Samyang Beach,
Mhm.
right? Yeah, in episode 6, we talk about going to Jeju's fabulous coast, and Samyang Beach is one of those. And I was writing an article to support that, and the article is at vamosrjeju.com/coast. I learned when I was researching the article that some Koreans actually bury themselves in the sand.
It's not only in Samyang, everywhere you can do that. So if you go to the beach, if it's a popular beach, they will have their own parasol, the big umbrella,
Parasol, okay.
and
Mhm.
and then the chairs, tables. And one set is usually like 30,000 won, which is like $20. So you can rent
All day.
those you can rent parasol, table, and the chairs for whole day. Or like us, we have our own parasol or our tent, so we can just set up in the beach and then chill. What we do usually in the summer, like we go to the beach early morning, as early as possible, and then enjoy the beach until the sun gets too hard, like 1 p.m., 2 p.m. We just finish and then come back.
So summer, then we're looking at rain, and then we're looking at a huge surge in tourists from the mainland because it's the school holidays.
Usually, other country you have only like 15 days, 20 days for a year, right? The day off.
Mhm.
But here in Korea, we
Right.
have that. And plus, we also have like 3-4 days for summer vacation. So people usually
Wow.
take their summer vacation on July, August, and come to Jeju. And some company, they do like summer vacation shutdown for everyone at the end of
Right.
August.
So I've seen photos of like the Busan beach, Haeundae Haebyeon. It looks terrifying. It's like every square meter there's an umbrella or parasol. It looks like a nightmare, and then everyone's in the water. It just looks terrible. Is that what happens to all of Jeju beaches as well?
Busan is easier for people to go because you can
Oh.
drive or you can take a KTX. But here you need to prepare, you need to get the flight. So I think it's less than Busan. Usually, like from May, you can start swimming. So June would
Okay.
be a perfect time to enjoy with less crowd.
Okay, so then that means all the water sports are going to be available. So I guess
Like surfing,
windsurfing, kite
kite
surfing,
surfing.
and all that. Earlier, we talked about how if you're going to climb Hallasan in the winter, you need to make sure that you have special equipment like hiking poles and crampons. So while you don't have to worry about special equipment hiking Hallasan in the summer, you do need to bring a lot of extra water because it gets really hot, and with the higher than normal humidity, it's going to be harder for your body to cool off. So that is summer, and if you want to hit up Jeju in the summer and you want to avoid the peak crowds from the mainland, then you're going to want to go in July and even June because you're going to have the great experience on the beaches without too many people. Let's move on to the fourth and final season that we're going to talk about today, and that is fall or autumn, and it's called Gaul in Korean. So talk to us about fall.
Like what we like Koreans say is that the best season in Korea is spring and fall because of the nice weather. It's easy to walk around. Well, fall in Jeju, I would say it starts from the end of September until November. Early September can be very hot, still very hot, like summer. So my favorite part of the fall in Jeju is the autumn foliage. Because as you know, we have the tallest mountain in Korea, Hallasan. The autumn leaves there are beautiful. So I like to bring my family or friends to the mountain, especially in the fall. Seoul. I just go to like 30 minutes, go in, there's a beautiful bridge, and then we just take photo, enjoy the view, and then come back to the parking lot. In the spring and fall, we have some like school field trip season. So there will be lots of school buses coming from the mainland Korea, usually like middle schoolers or high schoolers.
And people have to watch out for the Chuseok Golden Week period. Avoid travel destinations in Korea during the Chuseok, that's Korean Thanksgiving period. For instance, if you are trying to go to Jeju, where like almost like half of Korea is going to be there at the same time, everything is going to be so expensive. That's assuming you can even get accommodations. Number 2 is don't even try and travel the day before Chuseok or the day of Chuseok, because whether you're going to be flying or in a bus or on the train or driving, it is just going to be nightmare, because like half of Korea is going to be on the move at that point in time. I've actually been in Korea over Chuseok. Like we just stay in a hotel. It's fine. It's okay. Just don't try to be like flying to Jeju or taking the train to Busan. Like it's just a nightmare.
It's actually like impossible to get the tickets for the train or flight. There's no tickets.
Wow.
So like before Chuseok or Seollal, the KTX, they start open the ticketing, I think 1 month before that. And it's like a concert ticket.
I just want to clarify for our listeners who may not understand this about Korea. Like Koreans are so dang competitive and organized that they are going to be like, if they know the ticket's going to open up like tomorrow morning at, I'm going to give it a time, like let's say 7 a.m., 6:45 a.m., 15 minutes before, they are waiting at the computer, and then just to be clear, they are like refreshing their screens again and again and again and again. It's like, OMG, it's like I am too old to be competing with Koreans for concert tickets, flight tickets, train tickets, anything that involves lottery. Like my friend was like, hey, BTS is going to be doing their Arirang comeback tour in March. Like, let's try and get tickets. I'm like, hell no.
Impossible.
I'm not. I'll just watch it on Netflix. It's like, I'm not going to compete with half of Korea and then the rest of the world. Like, it's just, no.
Usually the concert ticket, they finish like in 1 or 2 minutes.
Yeah, like if you're lucky. And and then sometimes like I've heard from my friends, that other friends, not just you, they're waiting and then they think they got it and then the page hangs.
Yeah, so
they
no
didn't
tickets.
get it in the end. Yeah, because like everyone is trying to access the website at the same time. So take it from me, do not try and compete. Do not try and outcompete Koreans during like Chuseok and like Sora mentioned Seollal, which is in
impossible.
The winter. No. On the flip side, in the West, Christmas and New Year's major holiday, it is not so big in Korea. Is that right?
No. Yeah, Christmas is more like for friends or a boyfriend and girlfriend.
Couples,
yeah. Right.
So to recap, in the winter, you want to avoid the Seollal, the Lunar New Year period. And then for the summer, you want to avoid the last week of August, because half of Korea is going to be on vacation. And finally, in the fall, you want to avoid the Chuseok, the Korean Thanksgiving period, because there's usually 2 or 3 vacations stacked up at the same time too. So these are the 3 major periods you should not be trying to outcompete Koreans. If you have the flexibility, definitely try to travel outside of that. And so today we talk all about like the best time to visit Jeju. This is a great time for Sora to help you guys learn some useful things to talk about when you're here in Jeju. And so for that, we're going to move on to our next segment, which is Handy Korea with Sora Sam. Yeah, she's getting more and more depressed. Like, no more cheering. Like, I may have gone too far in making fun of her, and now she doesn't want to do it anymore. My bad. So, Sora, what are we going to help our listeners learn today?
Today, let's try to use 있어요, 없어요, which means there is, there are, or there isn't, there aren't, like, or can be, do you have or no? So we prepare some items that you might need for each season. So you can just put the item noun, and then 있어요 can be are there or do you have this? For example, like mask. Mask is mask for, the dust and spring. So you can ask people in the convenience store or a pharmacy. You go there and then mask 있어요, meaning are there any mask here or do you have mask here? And for summer, of course, you need that sun cream, meaning sunscreen or sun stick. So you can ask like sun cream 있어요. You can go to Olive Young or convenience store or cosmetic shop and ask sun cream 있어요. Or what you also need in summer is 우산, which is umbrella. So can you say that, Ed? Do you have umbrella? Are there umbrella?
I like that you go on for so long and then suddenly you like try to catch me in
Yeah.
something. It's like, yes, I'm
Yeah.
paying attention.
Maybe you're not paying
우산
attention.
있어요.
Oh. The other thing is 비, 옷, which literally means 비, rain, 옷, clothes, like rain clothing. 비, 옷 있어요. So in autumn, fall, you may want to take selfies when you're traveling. So in Korean, selfie is 셀카. So we say 셀카, and then 봉 is stick. So it's like a selfie stick, 셀카봉. And in winter, now the must-have item is hot pack. I always buy a hot pack for armies because that lasts like 24 hours. You can also buy this from Daiso, convenience store, everywhere. So you can ask, hot pack 있어요? Meaning, do you have hot pack? And other thing you might need in the winter is padding. Padding is like puff jacket for winter.
I see. But wouldn't visitors already travel to Korea with their winter gear? No?
Maybe if they didn't expect that much cold.
So, Sora, what happens if you walk into any of these stores and you ask for something like such and such 있어요, and then they say there isn't? How would the staff say there isn't something?
So it's gonna be 없어요. It's kind of similar. So 있어요, there is. 없어요, there's no. 없어요. So we have learned 있어요 and 없어요. So now I want to put one more phrase that we have learned before. Do you remember 주세요? Please give me. So you can actually put all of these items and then you just put 주세요. For example, like 핫팩 주세요. Like, please give me those hot pack. So you can make a sentence like, do you have this one? And then please give me this one.
So those are very helpful phrases that Sora just shared with us. If you would like to use some of those phrases when you go to Jeju, just check out our show notes. You'll find all the different versions in Hangul, in Romanization, and all that. And if today's show has gotten you thinking, wow, really like to experience all 4 seasons in Jeju, we've put everything we know about DIY travel into a 14-part email series.
So to get that email series straight to your inbox, sign up at vamosajeju.com/start. And for the latest update, follow us on Vamosa Jeju on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook group. And finally, the best way for a new podcast like us to grow is organically. So if you found this episode helpful, please share with your family and friends. And who knows, maybe we will Vamos a Jeju together.
And with that, all that's left for us to say is
안녕.
안녕. Get all our latest articles, videos, and resources on Jeju DIY travel, culture, and history at vamosajeju.com. That's VAMOSAJEJU.com. If you would like to get updates about Jeju or even Korea sent straight to your email, sign up for our dispatches at vamosajeju.com/update. And finally, the best way for a new podcast like this to grow is organically. So if you found this episode helpful, please share us with a friend. And who knows, maybe you'll Vamos a Jeju together this year. The Vamos or Jeju podcast is part of the passport optional network.